Welcome and good day. My name is Jason Morano, and I welcome you to a new video in the series on Quest onDemand Security Guardian. This time we're going to be covering the AI or artificial intelligence within the solution, how it's used, and a little background of why we're introducing it here, since I know it's such a commonly used marketing term nowadays, with just it being introduced as a public zeitgeist. Everybody kind of knows about it. And a lot of times we in technology might have this feeling like, what is AI really going to provide to us? So we're going to cover why we're introducing it and that your data is safe within your tenant. We are not going to share any findings with any outside harvested AI research. So it is mostly going to be used to look up attacks that could be in the findings and give relevant examples so your team learns. Now, there is a knowledge gap in 2020. The other issue is I am somebody who used to be an MCSE, and even though you might have been certified all the way beyond 2020 or up to 2020, it expired. Microsoft turned all the on-prem into retired certifications. And then there is the Entra environment. Anybody starting in the field since 2020 are probably, if they're Microsoft certified, more than definitely certified in Entra environments. So there is a knowledge gap that's going on. And even though I might have been working in the industry around Active Directory and on-prem Active Directory, it does not automatically make me proficient in Entra. It's new for a lot of people, and for a lot of organizations, they maybe adopted it early to convert their Office licensing to a more convenient method of getting billed through Microsoft, so there was no audits. The truth really is that it doesn't make me an Entra professional. So in both directions, we're seeing a lot of knowledge gap issues. What are the findings within here and why are they so important to me becomes a big question. And if you don't have the time and the means to research why something is an issue, then you might want to use a tool like this that uses AI. So I'm in the main dashboard here. There is no tab for AI findings as of yet. Another side note is it's in its beta form. So we're getting an early recording out. There can be some delays in responses. And we're also working through how to prepare that material so it's more relevant when your team goes in and uses the AI function to help them with their jobs. But I'm going to look at these high severity findings as a good example and starting point, because we're probably going to have more information around this. And one that's jumping out at me is non-tier 0 accounts can steal password hashes. So I can click on investigate. And if you see my other recordings, you are in the findings section, but specifically this one. And take a look at this. I know that right here, I see this Security Guardian intelligence, which means that we have some information about this particular user who has the ability to steal hashes or act like a DC sync attack, or have that capability of carrying that out against your on-prem Active Directory. Once again, we have the information about the MITRE attack. So if you need to justify why you're doing this, that information is relevant right there. This one I could pretty much figure out. As an administrator, I already know that Exchange needs to keep passwords synchronized, so there are services running. This should be a tier 0 object. It's currently not. So this might be something I just clean up and say, you know what, treat this like a tier 0 object going forward. But Judith Patton, this is a concern. Why does one of my user accounts in my environment have this ability? Specifically, they're not a tier 0. So they're not a domain admin or an enterprise admin or something like that. They are a non-tier 0 account, but they have the privilege to be able to use pass the hash. So let's go ahead and click into it. And the Security Guardian intelligence is going to pop up here, ask you what you want to do. I want to review this. So this is where there might be a slight delay, but I think I'm going to be able to backfill with some commentary. As this product gets built out, this might all change. So keep that in mind. You can clearly see it is labeled beta right now, and we will update this video along the way. However, if this is not beta and it was something that you had purchased and look forward to using, there will be an update to this video. While we're waiting for the results to show up here, some other things that I like to point out while I'm here is always bring in others that help investigate. I have customers that have international admins that work pretty much every time zone or every major time zone around the world. A lot of times we don't collaborate with those others. Everybody runs their shop a specific way. So bring in others, help them figure out what it is that's going on here. Why was this named like a user? However, with the ability to do password synchronizations. So let's take a look at the findings now that they're here. So here is the SID object in Active Directory. And then if I go through, I get a basic user summary. They're an Active Directory user identified by their principal name. They're not classified, indicating that the account does not have the highest privileges typically reserved for administrators, like we discussed, and that they have some suspicious activity that has been analyzed by the AI in the TTPs and threats and events that we're gathering from on-prem. So recent activity, you can see right here, there have been several sign-in events, user-registered security info events, and such. Basically, they're just saying, it's going to, once again, boil this down, has actively engaged in Azure Active Directory, particularly in registering security information. This is a commitment of maintaining account security. However, the frequency of the sign-ins, info registrations should be monitored. Basically, look, they're logging in. It could be at unusual times for this particular account. You might want to take a look at the object changes that they're making. And you can see clearly there have been certain objects within Active Directory that they're manipulating outside of their actual account. Now, I see this AZ Sync account. So this could be a part of the reason, the underlying reason. However, I don't know why their account needs this privilege. And then you can see the origin of IPs. So we're just boiling it down, once again, reducing it to its easiest way of finding this, and then understanding the findings of why this is possibly an issue and how you're going to fix it with the appropriate links. Down here, it's just going to be a summation, a good way of bringing this to the team, talking about how do I mitigate this? We're talking about using conditional access policies, maybe not allow this person to have certain activities within the organization if this account is needed to have that password synchronization. And then you can see, I can keep diving in what specific actions can be taken to improve this account security. Are there additional findings that were suspicious? Let's click on that. And once again, the AI is going to go through our logs, figuring out exactly, and when I say our logs, the Security Guardian logs, what has been going on-prem or in the cloud that were very concerning. And so you can see we're extracting that information right here. So adding in conditional access policies might be a really good way of restricting this person's ability to continue to make changes in the environment. So because this is in its beta, I wanted to also let you know you can put in additional questions yourself if you needed to keep digging in. I could ask it possibly when some of this activity happened, why did it happen, or what other things were affected. In the end, Security Guardian is going to provide this capability within your environment so that your team can have much better knowledge around figuring out what's really harmful, what might need to change as a hygiene issue, and in the event of a real threat, hopefully you'll have quick intelligence at your fingertips to help understand what you need to do to mitigate this problem as it continuously interrupts or possibly is digging deeper into Entra's environment based on privilege escalation that attacker maybe has gathered. Once again, thank you for joining me for this short and quick video about the AI and Security Guardian intelligence.